Hey friends, today on Rocket Punch, we celebrate the coming of a long-awaited book. That's right, it's the first setting book for Dragonbane, Arkand, the city of waves and flames. Stick around to the end and I'll show you some cool bonus content. Now let's go to the table.
Hey guys, welcome to the table. Let's take a look at Arkand, City of Waves and Flames, a nice cool little supplement for Dragonbane, which is a setting, a campaign book, all wrapped up into one, and it's really interesting and cool and all that good stuff. I really like this little octopus up here. That's pretty cool. A little bit of a, you could have like Cult of Cthulhu kind of thing going on. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So what is Arkand all about? Newcomers, welcome to Arkand, City of Waves and Flames. We've got everything you could possibly want. Bloody gladiator games with monstrous beasts and late nights of enchanting songs. Check. Shady taverns, dark gambling dens, and even darker dungeons. You bet. The world's finest tailors, greatest blacksmiths, and the most talented sorcerers. Absolutely. Buried artifacts from the Draconic Empire, lost pirate treasures, and newly made fortunes ripe for the taking, guaranteed. But tread carefully. Arkand has sharp teeth, and you won't be alone in your quest. Let's take a look inside this magnificent book. First, we're greeted by half a map, because Arkand is so great. They had to cut it in half to cram it in this book. So you got kind of the front map, or the top portion, and the bottom portion, and you see all this in here. And there's always, like the other Dragonbane maps, there's all these other cool little artifacts that you could, that are not in the book, but you can really have a whole bunch of cool ideas. Like, what's that little cave down there? What's that giant mermaid doing there? And all that shipwrecks over there and all that. This land over here. Now, you also get, like most of their books, you also get the full, complete fold-out map, which is nice. Let's take a look inside. Now, inside the book, you're going to see like the general information for the GM to run the campaign setting, whatever you want to call it. But there's 5 areas of Arkand, and they're all have their own little adventure seeds and NPCs and stuff like that. You're going to have the harbor, you're going to have the dung, and that's kind of like the slums, the market, Dragon Rock, and the underworld. Here we have an awesome picture that's really going to set the tone or mood for your players if you want to show them this. This is cool. This could be the boat that they arrive on as they pass between the gates here and they approach the city. Talks a little bit about using the book, the history of Arkand. Tons of rumors that you can have your players hear off the streets, in a tavern, or on a quest. Or these could be quest seeds for your characters. Talks a little bit about Arkand today, the government, the guilds, which there are a couple of the guilds holding power here, and how law and order works in this city. And here we have our favorite guard, Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Say hi, Jeff, everybody. Now, Arkand has a mythology. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but like everything in Dragonbane, it involves dragons and demons. And the dragons cast the demons out, I think, to the bottoms of the seas. And the dragons remain in their way up high on the rock. But there is an influence within as the whispers of the demons spread seeds of evil and destruction among all the citizens. There's also some cool weather ideas and a new little fog effect as you're kind of a sea town. You're going to have a lot of fog rolling in. But there's also some information on living here and the different accommodations and things like that. Now, how are you going to get your players here out of the blue? Well, they give you a little adventure seed called Song of the Manicore. That's going to take your characters wherever they may be on a little quest, which will lead them to Arkand. Or you can just start right there. It doesn't really matter. The book also features a whole bunch of different types of adventures you can have in here, but it's more of a sandbox. It's not a step-by-step. So you have the Return of the Dragon Princess, the Throne of Thieves, and In the Banisher's Service. So you can see throughout these adventures, there's going to be these little hooks and these little steps as you go from the beginning to the end of the adventure. Roughly, it's not like a 1, 2, 3, 4, but things are going to be happening within the city as you kind of progress. But you can progress out of order. It's not too strict. You have your cast of characters. You just have all these names. So as a GM, you don't have to think of these names. Bookmark this page, and you have a whole bunch of cool little unique NPCs in Arkand. And then you have some others that kind of appear throughout this book. So first up, you're going to talk about the harbor. So as they kind of pass these 2 towers, not to be confused, and you'll come to the harbor on your first stop. So you have some interesting locations and individuals and a whole bunch of random events, which are going to be a whole bunch of adventure seeds right for the making as a GM. So you will not be short of ideas. But they also have little adventure sites as well, like the Temple of the Endless Sea. And it has just a little tiny dungeon and some interesting characters you can meet. And don't show your players that. You get to meet a Cthulhu-esque type of demon creature. Then you have some interesting taverns, and they're going to have little quests in here. And you have a nice menu, some adventure seeds, some NPCs. Again, the trading house. So all of these locations are keyed, which is very handy. So you can have adventures there, or you can just show up. The White Feather Forest, so you can have a little sea campaign. So you can have a little adventure on the sea with that pirate ship. You got the Guild of the Waves, one of the guilds in this area. And then we come to the Dung.
Oh, hey guys, it's me, Rocket Punch. I'm here in my karate gi to ask you to come join the Rocket Punch Dojo. That's right, become a member on YouTube or on my Patreon. At the black belt level, you can come join me, Rocket Punch, on my cool, very own Discord channel, and you can come play games with me and my other buddies. And for every dollar you generate, helps Rocket Punch grow into a great channel of mediocrity. Coolness, being cool. And it really helps me buy more games so I can show all you guys. So every dollar is going to a good cause and not just going into my pockets. Now, temporarily, and then it goes to Free League. They own my bank account. So if you got the grit, join the Rocket Punch Dojo and be cool like these guys over here.
I love that name, and I love that picture. Just the slums of this area. So a lot of crime and things like that. So you can have that nice criminal conspiracy, thievery, assassinations, all kinds of goodies within this area of Arkand. Different menus, different activities and NPCs going on. The Cracked Pearl. So you see there's a couple different inns you can go through. Kind of a nicer area, a crappier area. Soul Ink, so you can get some cool tattoos. That is really cool. You can make a little tattoo that kind of tells you how much time required, the size, the cost, and some example motifs. So that's really cool. Something to do with your gold. Palace of Rejuvenation, different kind of elixirs. The market. So not only just some boring shopping, but you can actually go on a nice adventure in the market. A menagerie of curiosities. And there you have Master Achilles, which they actually created a miniature if you backed the campaign. And that's pretty cool. So he could be a benefactor of your guys, if they're kind of not criminals. Theater of Inevitable Fates. I guess if you had a bard character, you could use that a little bit. Kind of have like a Phantom of the Opera thing going on here. The Guild of Blades. Dragon Rock. So this is the creme de la creme. So you have a whole bunch of, again, random encounters. Temple of True Fire. You can have some draconic creatures here. The Arkand Academy, so you might be able to learn some new spells and things like that over here, some new wisdom, or it might start a quest again. You have a whole bunch of people in here that could be quest givers, patrons, and things of that nature that'll, have you on a lot of cool adventures. Citadel of Broken Wings. So you kind of see all this kind of cool dragon motif here. Although my favorite, of course, is in the back of the book. Oh, I didn't see that picture. Not that one, though. You got a Carcarian, which is from the Book of Beasts, a rare kind of cat, bat-like creature. Very rare kin. But it's kind of interesting. Here it is, the underworld. So there's a whole bunch of caves and caverns in here. Now, there's only one adventure site, but you can make all your own caves and caverns as they kind of explore the old cisterns of Arkand, or maybe some old libraries and things like that. You have a whole bunch of cool random events for your dungeons down there. But you have Pontifex Den, and this is a little ogre dude that kind of has all these treasures and things that you can work around in your campaign. Athena's Lair, like this giant spider goddess. That's always awesome and fun. Got some little bit of Drider kind of drow stuff that you could throw in there if you wanted to. And then you have the Dragon Temple itself. And this right here, quite possibly my favorite piece of art in the Arkand book. I mean, it's amazing. Look, you can see his intestines and everything. This is an awesome wraith. I can't believe the art on this. This is so awesome. You could really do a lot with it. And you have the Dragon Riders Academy right after the evil creature. So, this might be a place where in the Book of Magic it says that, dragon magic is impossible to come by. But maybe through all the quests, and if you can kind of align yourself with the dragons, maybe through here you might be able to, get a dragon mount, or maybe even learn some dragon magic if you are high enough level. Well, there's not really levels. High enough worldly experience, I guess. And that's kind of it for this adventure. It's kind of setting. Just a quick flip through, because if I really spoke too much about it, it's going to ruin your enjoyment of it. But I just wanted to show it off. You can kind of get a general idea of what it's like and see if it's going to be right for your table. And now for the bonus supplement. I don't know if they're going to release this to the general populace. I imagine so, a little bit later. But part of the Kickstarter was also a new set of standees, which is awesome. Friends and Foes. So this standee set is part of the Path of Glory and Arkand campaigns. So let's take a look. You get another one of these fancy things. It's really cool to have, but I don't know. It's pretty, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like how it folds here. I like the paper one with the core box for sure. I mean, it's bigger. Maybe I just need some strong paperweights to hold it down. But here we have a whole bunch of cool characters from Arkand. This is the Arkand page. So you can see all these cool characters. Now, unfortunately with these standees, my only minor complaint with all the standees in the Dragonbane sets is that it's the exact same image on front and back. It would be cool, but it would have cost a lot more to have it like the backs of them. But it would kind of make it easier when you're doing games. So which one? So when you're trying to sneak up on someone. Now here's all the little minis from the Path of Glory. You got our cool mages and stuff like that, the young dragon and the demons and all of that. Really love that. And here is some more. Got a whole bunch of orcs, which I love. I didn't have enough in the core box. You have our race. I kind of forgot their name, but I really, oh, and it's nice. Yes, Dozer. They have all the names printed on here this time instead of previously it didn't have the names, but most of those were just unnamed characters. So this has, as it's a campaign, it has a lot more named characters, and you have a dragon rider. That's really cool. I love that. So hopefully, like the other Book of Beasts, and they had a box of creatures that came out with that, more characters like that. Hopefully this will be available. I imagine it is because it has a barcode. So I assume in the future you'll be able to order this one when the other books come out to the general public. But yeah, that was our little quick look at Arkand, City of Waves and Flames. So until we meet again on Rocket Punch, pow! Have a great day.